In this example, let P and Q represent the following simple statements. P represents she is wealthy. Q represents she is happy. Write each of the following symbolic statements in words. For part A, we have negation outside of the parentheses of the conjunction P and Q. So this one we can write in English as it is not true that, which represents the negation. And after that, it's going to be parentheses and has the connective and, which is the symbol, the upside down, the letter V upside down. She is wealthy, that is the statement P. She is happy, that's the symbol statement Q. So then the way to write in English or in words for the symbolic form, it's in the form of it is not true that she is wealthy and happy. For part B, we have negation of the P and Q. We do not have parentheses for part B, and the way to write in words or in English would be she is not wealthy, which is from the first part or from negation P, and from the connective, the conjunction, and she is happy, that's the simple statement Q. The last one, we have negation of the disjunction or the P or Q. For the negation, we can write it as it is not true that, and then followed by the statement within the parentheses with the connective or. So she is either wealthy or happy. An equivalent way to write in words for this statement is she is neither wealthy nor happy. Expressing symbolic statements with parentheses in English. As you see on the table, the statement on the first row and the second row, they all have the same simple statement notations and the connectives, but the position of the parentheses, they are not the same. So with this way, we're going to consider the dominant statement or the dominant connective. So with this one, you can see that the grouping symbol of the first one that gather the Q and not P together. The main connective for the first one is the if then. The English translation is based on the if then statement. So if P and not Q, which are the statements within the parentheses, then not R. For the second one, the main connective or the dominant connective is the conjunction or the and. The left side is the Q, the right side is the grouping symbol that contains the if then statement of the not P and also the not R. So then we have to group the not P then not R together. So we use the comma sign to separate the left and the right statements of the dominant connective. In this case, the dominant connective is and. So when we write in English, it's gonna be Q and if not P, then not R. So the as we notice this, when we translate the symbolic statement into English, the symbol statements in parentheses appears on the same size of the comma sign. This example, let P, Q, and R represent the following simple statements. P for a student misses lecture. Q for a student studies. R for a student fails. Write each of these symbolic statements in words. For part A, the main connective is the if then. On the left, there's the parentheses for the connective and for the statement Q and not P. On the right side of the arrow is the statement negation R or not R. So when we write in words, make sure that we write the group of the Q and not P together on one side of the equal sign. So the main connective, which is if then, starting first, and on the left, which is the group of Q and not P. Q is a student studies, P is a student misses lecture. So for the statement Q and not P, we get a student studies and does not miss a lecture. So this is Q and not P, parentheses. If then the arrow, the student does not fail, which is negation of the R. For part B, the statement Q and the parentheses of the if then, not P, then not R. So we're gonna have the comma to separate the statement Q and the statement in the parentheses with the main connective and the Q, which is a student studies. We start from that. Comma and then for the statement if then, if not Q, or we can say a student does not miss lecture, then a student passed. As you notice, the comma sign separate the left and the right side of the main connective. For number 2, let P, Q, and R represent the following simple statement. P for a plant is fertilized. Q for the plant is not watered. R for the plant wilts. Write each of these symbolic statements in words. For part A, the main connective is the conditional statement or the if then. So we start with if, then, and have the comma sign. The length of the comma sign is the compound statement in the parentheses, which contain like not P and Q. Not P, that is the negation of the P. So we write the plant is not fertilized. With the connective and. So and have no room. So I'm gonna adjust it a little bit here, and followed by the Q and not water, and comma sign. Then the simple statement are, then the plant will. So have we highlight if then or the arrow sign, and everything in the parentheses all together on one side of the comma sign. For part B, the main connective is the and or the conjunction. So we're gonna have the comma sign on the left side of the comma sign gonna be the statement not P. The right side of the comma sign is the compound statement Q, then not R. Starting with not P, or the plant is not fertilized. And so put a comma sign and then the statement Q, then not R. We say and if the plant is not watered, then the plant does not wilt. So I'm going to highlight the dominant connective, which is and anything in the parentheses here, they are together on the other side of the comma sign.